All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Eric Paulzine with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the week one stacks here, okay? I already came out with this content about a week and a half ago, but I wanted to just kind of confirm the thoughts for it for you guys so you can see what I'm thinking there. And there is kind of a tool that I made on 9 to 5 Sports that I want to show you guys as well. That's just kind of a fun step to do when looking for stacks, and that'll be something I'll show you guys midway through the video. So the one thing I want to start off with is just kind of showing you guys my thoughts on like quick game stacks. So obviously the Kansas City Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals are the two teams that you want to be targeting just because the game over and under is very high, and it's one that you can easily stack. So like Kyler Murray, you can put him in there very easily. You could go James Conner if you want to as well. Heck, you can even go Clyde Edwards-Helaire if you want to. Like, let's just say 15 DK points for James Conner, 10 DK points for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 20 DK points for Kyler Murray. You're already started off very well. Marquise Brown is kind of the one player on the slate. I think he's a core play, but also in this game, like, you just have to play 6.2 and is an extremely cheap price point for a guy that's both going to be very consistent as a fantasy producer this season, we think. And also his ceiling in this game should be insanely high in a game that should be high scoring. So yeah, I really love Marquise Brown. And we can already see like a pretty solid build. Don't have to go like too high up with anyone price point wise. You got Juju in there to run it back on the KC side. Juju expected to be the receiver number one in that offense, so already sitting pretty. And then from there, like, if I am playing Kyler Murray, I would want to go AJ Green. And then we have to wait and see on the news on Zach Ertz. It does seem like he's going to play, but if he doesn't, then that just makes AJ Green and Marquise Brown even better plays. But at 4.4, yes, you can easily fit in Zach Ertz, and then, you know, really whatever you want to do from there. You could go Travis Kelce in the build, and then you could pay up for defense. You know, you can mix and match it the way you want. That's just a very easy game stack in general, okay? And then the other stack that I just want to touch on real quick is going to be Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Well, there's one other one as well, but Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be one of the better quarterback plays on this slate. And I do really like Aaron Jones in this one. If Allen Lazard sits, I think that's going to mean that Aaron Jones is going to get involved in the passing game even more, okay? When Devontae Adams has been out in the past, Aaron Jones sees his usage go up a ton, both in the run game and in the passing game. So I do expect him to kind of be their receiver number 2 or so in this offense, at least at the start of the season, until one of the rookies establishes themselves. And that's the point that I want to bring up. It's like, I do expect like Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs to step up in this game. It's just like, which one is going to step up? That is the question. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you guys. Christian Watson, it seems like everyone is excited there in Green Bay about him. Since he's been able to get healthy and play. I do still really like Randall Cobb as a value play, especially if Allen Lazard sits. Like, that just should mean that he is going to hit value. Now, how much will he exceed value? We don't know, okay? I like that play. Sammy Watkins, everyone's excited for as well. You could easily play Sammy Watkins if you wanted to. Really, for me, it's going to come down to, do I want to play Randall Cobb or Romeo Doubs in that value spot? Because you can easily make a game stack work in this game. And then from there, like, I don't mind Adam Thielen running it back with. I think that's a great option as well. Then the last game stack that I like, I'm sure if you guys have watched my videos, you already know what it's going to be, but I really like Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback play going against the Washington Commanders. If you wanted to play Travis Etienne more, the pass catching back, you could. I don't really want to do that. I do think playing maybe Antonio Gibson as a running back play is nice. If you guys watched my ownership leverage video, you saw that Antonio Gibson was top 5 in ownership leverage for the running back position. So, you know, the path to him potentially scoring a touchdown, maybe 2, is there. Like, I don't hate that. From there, like Christian Kirk, just the easy play. He's a core play for me this week. You guys already know that. Both him and Marquise Brown are 2 players I'm going out of my way to play. From there, it's like Marvin Jones or Zay Jones. I think Marvin Jones has just as much safety as, say, Zay Jones, but I think Marvin Jones has a little bit more TD upside. So I like Marvin Jones at that price point. You could play Evan Ingram. Like, I'm fine with that if you want to, but the one play that I really like in this game right now is actually Dotson, because he's getting a lot of hype out of camp. He is expected to start for them at 3.4. It's not going to take much for him to hit value, especially if he's going to be playing like 70% of the snaps. So a pretty good game stack to start off with here for you guys. Now let's get into the data side of it. All right, so going to be breaking down the stacking report here on 9 to 5 Sports. So we're on that column here. You guys can use this image if you guys want to. It's kind of just a fun visual to look at. You can kind of just get a good idea of which teams to target stacking wise. And what is going into the stacking report currently is just looking at the receiver number 1, the quarterback number 1, the RB1, and the tight end 1. Now, eventually, as the season goes on, I might break it down. So it's going to be quarterback, receiver, 1 and receiver number 2, possibly tight end as well, maybe just running back and defense. Right now, I just want to get the starters so we can get a good baseline of which stacks could potentially be the route to go. Now, obviously, you guys can decide if you want to go on with that full-on 4-player stack. Maybe you just go with 3 of them, but this gives us a good indication of which stack path would be the best to go with. Okay, so starting off, we can see which team stack is going to be the best projected value on the slate right now. We'll start off with that. You got the Philadelphia Eagles with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, and Miles Sanders. Now, I don't particularly agree with Miles Sanders here, but he is due for at least a touchdown. You know, this could be Kenneth Gainwell. This could be Boston Scott. We kind of get the point behind that. After that, though, a surprising one would be the Detroit Lions one. You got St. Brown, you got DeAndre Swift, you got Jared Goff, and TJ Hawkinson. That is kind of an interesting one to me. Then after that, we would have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't love this one because I don't love Zeke. This would probably be one that I stick away from, but you could potentially play it if you want to. I do like the Raiders side of it. Okay, so you have Darren Waller, you got Devontae Adams, you got Derek Carr. Like, you could easily put those guys in a game stack with the Chargers. Like, this is expected to be a high-scoring game. So you could easily do that as well, whether it's like with Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams. That would be for you guys to decide, but I like that it's a stack that has a lot of value to it. Another decent stack, and this would be even better if we get news that Mike Davis is going to start. Like, if J.K. Dobbins sits, then I like this one a little bit better because you have Mike Davis at a cheaper price point. You got Lamar Jackson, you got Mark Andrews, and Rashad Bateman you could go with as well. Like, I don't hate that. So then from there, let's just look at which stack is the highest projected own. No surprise there. You got the Colts. You got Matt Ryan, who's pretty high owned. You got Jonathan Taylor, the highest owned player on the slate. And then you got Michael Pittman, who is also at 10% projected ownership. Let's just look at ownership rank. Okay, so that's the other slate. Yeah, we don't have to look at that just yet. Leverage rank. So which stack based off of their ownership, projected ownership. And once again, like, here, I'll just click off of this because I have all the slates in there. So let's just click off of that. Let's get out of the Rams. Let's get out of Denver. And let's get out of Tampa Bay and Dallas. Okay, so now we have all the main slate games going right now. The best leverage rank stack you go with is actually going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, not a bad stack. You could usually play that one if you want to. Then we have the Eagles. The Eagles are a very intriguing stack to me. I already mentioned that. I really don't mind that. And the nice thing about it is you could easily run it back with potentially the Detroit Lions as well. Like, both of those teams are popping up as like decently good value stacks. Like, we can see they're one of the top team stacks leverage wise as well. And what I mean by leverage is that we're looking at the total ownership for the stack. Okay, comparing it against the projected total for them, comparing that against the salary, and comparing that against the value. So we can get a general sense of which stack is a little bit overvalued and which stack is going to be undervalued. Once again, this can just give us a good indication of where to go. Looking at the stacks that are overvalued, well, Deshaun Watson, he's not starting, so that kind of makes sense. You look at the New York Giants with Saquon Barkley getting a ton of hype. That makes sense. The Vikings actually kind of make sense as well. Dalvin Cook, a little bit high price. They're going against the Packers, and all of them are priced up. Dalvin Cook's priced up. You got Justin Jefferson priced up. That actually makes sense, especially going against the Packers, a defense that should be a little bit harder to score on. Let's just look at total projection for a stack. Okay, it's actually going to be the Raiders there. You got the Eagles there. Got the Chiefs and the Lions. Like, honestly, guys, my biggest takeaway from this would honestly be I'm going to be putting out another stack, which is going to be the Lions and the Eagles. A little bit of a game stack there as well. That tells me, one, it's going to be lower owned than it should be. And it's a game that you can chase because it is expected to be a little bit more higher scoring. So that would be another route that I would go with stacking wise as well. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Hopefully you guys got some good information out of this video. If you did, yes, like and subscribe. That helps out a lot. Let's have a good one. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.